Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I have been rather critical of the 2024 Olympic Games. I used to love the Olympics, and to some extent, in some ways, I do enjoy certain aspects of the Olympics. But unfortunately, when you put woke DEI policies and you enact them in sport, it becomes really problematic and it kind of annoys the living hell out of me, actually. And it annoys a lot of people too. And more than that, when you decide at the opening ceremony to mock God and mock 3 point, oh, I think it's 2.5, maybe it's 3 billion. I'm not sure how many Christians there are on the face of the earth. But nevertheless, when you decide to mock God and mock Christians, that also makes me mad. And I know it's not fair to the athletes either that work really hard to actually get there, especially the females that also have been robbed by DEI practices and the IOC not actually putting in a proper gender eligibility test at all. It's just whatever's on your passport, you can enter into the female category. If you claim that you are a female, by all means, you can change your documentation to reflect as such. And sure, go and compete against the likes of real women. So there's no real point in being a real woman nowadays in the Olympics, because if a man can go, hey, I'm a woman and I'm going to compete against real women, by all means. And everyone's going, but Iman Khalif isn't actually cheating as such. Iman is following along with the rules. And I'm going, what rules? There's only one rule, and that is if it's on your passport, you're allowed in. So again, I'll say it, if Mike Tyson or LeBron James or any of the other physical specimens decided, you know what, I'm going to change my passport tomorrow, next Olympics, I'm going to change my passport to reflect female. If they really wanted to, they could. It's like you need stricter, more robust rules in order to protect the likes and the integrity of female competition. You need to protect females. But the IOC doesn't care about that, and they want to gaslight the living hell out of each and every one of us, and say that we're the problem for wanting actual biology to exist and to protect the likes of real women. Now, I know it's not Iman Khalif's fault in terms of being born the way Iman has been born. There's no control over that for sure. But Iman went through male puberty, and this is where it gets interesting. Iman has a choice. Now, Iman may have been raised as a girl. Doesn't make Iman Khalif as a girl, okay? There's a massive difference. The father can go, oh, that's my girl, all he wants. Doesn't make Iman Khalif a girl. When you're dealing with biology, when you're dealing with XY chromosomes, there's a massive discrepancy there. You need to actually follow along with biology and what biology says. Now, when we're dealing with DSD cases, I understand there's some confusion surrounding that. I'm going to try and, as best I possibly can, to explain away the confusion. When you have DSD particular cases like the one that Iman Khalif has, I have stated this before, we don't have all of the facts as to what exactly Iman Khalif has, but based around what we have seen and, you know, some of the evidence that we are able to actually read, it looks like Iman has testicles internally and went through male puberty. That's what it looks like, based around what Iman Khalif actually looks like. And also because Iman Khalif has XY chromosomes, it's quite likely that that is what has happened. And I'm not the only one that is talking about this. If you want to look at someone that knows a lot more about this than I do, then definitely check out Zachary Elliott's work. He's a very well versed individual when it comes to these sorts of matters. And I always appreciate going to his advice. Let's just go with that. So yes, Iman Khalif has a choice whether or not to compete in Iman's biological category, which I believe Iman should have been competing in Iman's biological category. And I've been seeing so many people, Christians especially, which is also rather concerning, going, she. Iman is not a she. Iman is a he. That's not being derogatory or hateful or whatever else. That is being scientifically accurate, and we cannot deny science and we cannot deny biology, because then as a society we just fall flat. We end up going backwards. It's not a good thing for us to deny biology and to reject it. I talked about that in the video that I made yesterday, if you guys saw it or not, or didn't see it. I've been reading a lot of comments, and a vast majority of you guys actually agree with some of the things that I'm saying, and I appreciate that. So thank you all. You guys have got a lot of common sense about you. And the ones that are trying to allude to the fact that Iman Khalif, because Iman says that Iman is a woman, then we just automatically go along with that. No, you're being sheep. Actually wake up and realize biology. And also the intersex category, we need to properly look at that in sport and what that actually looks like. Because if you've got this intersex category that's going on, how does that look like for advantages? Like Iman is a biological male. You can only have male and female. There's no in between. And I love how people try and use intersex as like this third category when they're not this third category. You've only got male and female. Simple. There's only male and female characteristics, okay? There's not this in between. And even then, what does it look like? Even saying intersex is an outdated colloquial term. It doesn't work anymore. You shouldn't be using it. You've got a male that has DSD or some sort of abnormalities that have taken place. Same with the female, right? So they may have been given an extra chromosome. They may have lost a chromosome. A chromosome may not have developed properly. All these things take place for a male and a female, and it's extremely, and I mean extremely rare. I think I was reading it's about 0.018% that have a very specific line of DSD or some sort of abnormality that's taken place in their chromosomes. So the Olympics, especially, they need to look at all that. They need to consider all that, because they've got quite a lot of athletes at the moment that may be considered having some sort of abnormality that has taken place, and they want to compete. They want to be able to enter into their, do their best. They want to be an athlete. And I go, all credit to you, but it needs to be fair. If sport is not fair, then what is the point of really competing? If you're going up against something that is not really fair, if you've got a male going up against a female, that's not fair at all. That's not right, especially in the sport of boxing, for example. Everyone yells and screams and shouts about male abuse against women when it's an actual man that we know is a man, but somehow everyone is silent and praises and supports the biological dude that identifies as a woman beating up an actual woman. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I recently saw Sal Grover. She went on Sky News, which has been covering all this in a very well manner. Like they've been covering this in a way that I actually really like. So she goes, not only are these women taking the punches the rest of us are getting hit with as well, because once you make it legal, sex is what everyone has to acknowledge. It means women's sport is no longer a thing. Female spaces are gone, and you don't have the right to say that's a man. Not anymore, because the law dictates otherwise. The law will go, that's discrimination. That's hateful. The law goes, that's discrimination, or the law goes, that's hateful. Truth is not hateful, man. Like, wake up to that reality. So here's what Sal Grover said.
We all know what a woman is. A woman is an adult human female. It's XX chromosomes. And the issue is here, as with everywhere else where this is becoming a problem, is that they are elevating this concept of legal sex, which is what would be female on your passport meaning anything, and making it override the reality of biological sex. And the moment that you override the reality of biological sex with legal sex, you obliterate women's rights, and you end up with males punching women on the world stage at the Olympics. It literally just does not work in society. So not only are these women taking the punches, but the rest of us are getting hit with it as well, because once you make it that legal sex is what everybody has to acknowledge, it means that women's sport is no longer a thing, female-only spaces are gone, and you no longer have the legal right to say that is a man when you accurately see a man. So women like myself, Kath Deves, Moira Deeming, Kiralee Smith, Louise Elliott, we have been saying in Australia for years now that this simply doesn't work in society. And now it's being seen by everybody. And
you can't overwrite biological sex with this whole terminology of legal sex. There's a massive discrepancy and a huge problem I'm finding with that. And we are also starting to watch it all unfold right before our very eyes, aren't we? It's not a good thing to actually have this difference between biological sex and what the law dictates as actual sex, because the law can change. Biology does not change. And unless the law comes in line with biology, we're going to be in a world of hurt. There's no point in having female spaces or female sports anymore. There's just none, because you don't even know how to define what a real woman is. I mean, every individual used to know what a man and a woman is. Now it's just up for debate. Now it's just like, let's start questioning that. And that's a huge issue. Like, people need to go and read biology textbooks again. I think we need to make biology great once again, people. Like, seriously, if we miss out on what is right in front of us, our society is going to crumble. It's not going to be in a healthy position. And these woke monkeys running around, or these woke dingbats that don't know something that is so simple. It is so simple and so straightforward, but yet they go, oh, but it's not. The moment you start doing that, we've lost all hope. That everything just starts falling apart. Society becomes an absolute mess. You're opening up Pandora's box, and you're going, what else have you got in there? Let's go. What have you got next? No, you don't open Pandora's box at all. You leave it closed. You have the simple black and white, male, female. That's it. And in sport, you have males competing against males and females competing against females. I know the whole transgender debate is thrown into the mix with this, with identity and all that sort of stuff. Again, make up your mind. The IOC needs to make up its mind too, but it won't, because they're really woke. They want to have men beating women and calling that progress. It's ridiculous. Anyway, those are my thoughts again on the matter. Thought I'd clarify some things and make some things more known in case you guys weren't already aware. But you guys take care. You be blessed. I'll see you all in the next video.